to the NFT Jungle. I am Emma, aka Nifty Meta Girl, and we are glad you are along for this discussion on NFTs today. Joining me is my friend Jaden and...
The same as usual today, Boss
right.
Mom 99. Nothing changed this week, surprisingly enough.
Very good. And hello, Gabe.
Hi.
So enthusiastic all the time.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm one of a kind. You know what I mean?
Have you changed today?
Well, I did change a little bit.
Yeah.
My new PFP, it's kind of baller. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a skeleton. So I got my, my sad girl. I sent it to my wife. That was her first NFT. So since I'm her boyfriend, obviously, I had to take the skelly for myself. So
I don't know if boyfriend's the correct term.
Mate.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you
mate.
go. I'm like, I think you've passed the boyfriend stage if it's your wife.
Yeah. I'm the skeleton mate to my wife's
there you
sad
go.
girl.
There
you have it. But that's the only thing that's changed. Still fast nifties.
All right. Very good. Well, that's a great story and glad you've welcomed her into the world of NFTs. Hopefully we'll hear more about that as that continues.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll go ahead and give an update on our wallets. That's something fun that we're always chatting about. It's been an interesting week. Gas prices are still at crazy heights, so I know that has slowed down a lot in the way of minting and collecting. It's something that you kind of look at before you make any purchases. I've been happy to add a few ladies to my wallet. That's still been the topic of my collecting for whatever reason. I think part of it is I really believe that these women-led projects or women-focused projects are going to take off as soon as things kind of level out. There's such a big push for helping more women onboard into the NFT space. So I just think that naturally that's going to put a lot of demand into these projects. So I was thrilled to find a beautiful Women of Weapons. She has a green background, green motif. She has a flower crown, nunchucks. That's when I was hoping to find a flower crown. So, and something that's really cool with that project that they announced this week, they've added a channel in their Discord where they're encouraging businesses that are associated with Women of Weapon holders to share, so that way they can be supported by other Women of Weapons. So I thought that was a nice addition for the community to be able to share and just have that way to network and kind of get to know yourself in real life scenario. Another thing that's been encouraging about the collection is they've been adding more artists to their community collection. And I just really appreciate that they are kind of paying it forward and really stepping out there and being proactive on that part of their roadmap. So still really excited to be involved with that project and excited to see where they go. I also was thrilled to pick up a new World of Women. She's similar to my Meta Girl profile in that she does share the same cheetah patterned glasses. That seems to be an attribute that I really like, but she is one of my favorite that I've added to my collection. This is another one of the original blue chip type women projects that I think does have a huge way to go. As we all know, Reese is using a Woman of Weapons as her PFP on her Twitter profile. Kerry Washington also mentioned World of Weapons this week on Twitter. Gary Vee showed some attention to that. So I do think that that's one that is just going to really take off. So one that in the long term, I think will have big success. They're also paying attention to other one-of-one artists and helping to raise awareness in that regard. And I also added a Boss Beauties to my collection this week. She is another pink one. I now have two pink girls in my collection, and she has an interesting combination of attributes, but I think it's pretty cool because it kind of shows that a woman doesn't have to necessarily have one identity. She can be many different things, and I think that's a strong message from this particular project, and they seem to still be making strides with bringing attention to the space, and I think they're one that really connect the in real life with the NFT space and are going to be instrumental in bringing a lot of young women in. So that's where I have been focused this week. How about you, Jaden? Have you added anything to your collection?
My wallet has grown by one. I have acquired a Outlaw girl.
Okay, an Outlaw gal?
Yes, after we talked about it, I went back in, kind of looked at it, and I really like it. She kind of seems like a bad bee to me. She's got a cool choker. She's got some blood spouters on her shirt. Just
Been brawling, huh?
Exactly. It's, I have to say Sons of Anarchy is one of my favorite TV shows, and it just seems like she would fit right in, so I'm very happy with her. And I haven't added any women in weapons yet, but I did see that a artist that you're a fan of drew a really beautiful piece for him.
That is true. That is an artist called Crown Syndrome, and his collection that I had picked up a piece from a while back is called Siberian Soliloquy. You can find him on OpenSea, but a unique piece. I was really excited to see that connection had been made, and he was actually selected as an artist to be included in their community collection. And in response to being selected, he made a really unique derivative of a Women of Weapons that he also minted and donated, which was I thought that was a really cool move on his part.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is a beautiful piece. Like, it was two great artists coming together to create just one beautiful masterpiece, honestly.
I completely agree. Anything else that you have in the way of new items that you're looking at?
I'm still waiting for the Pangaens.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about that. Mint is November 13th, so Saturday. I'm pretty sure by the time that this video goes out, we'll probably be past that, but I do plan on minting one of those. That's pretty cool. And then one that you've been you kind of welcomed me into and showed me was Brava. I'm looking into them a lot too.
I'm looking forward to Brava as well. They've made an interesting development. Their mint date is coming up. It should be next week. But an interesting detail with theirs is they had planned to have your traditional 10,000 piece collection, but they really took into consideration the current climate with gas and also with other projects minting. And they consulted their community, and they actually made a decision, which I think was a really good move on their part, to reduce the size from 2,000 down to 2,000 pieces.
Yeah, I saw that they put that out there, and it was something that I thought was really cool because I'm in their Discord, but I saw that one of the reasons that they had decided to do it too is because they wanted people that actually believed in the project and what they were trying to do to be the holders. And I thought that was really cool and really respectable that they believe in their project so much and feel so passionate about it that they want like-minded people to be part of the project.
I completely agree. So really taking the strides to be thoughtful about the project and the long-term success.
Exactly.
The team does make a big difference in the success of a project. So I think they're making great strides to be able to do that. Their mint is actually scheduled for November 23rd. So that's one to be watching. So, and again, their mission is to end violence against women. So that's, of course, something that a great cause to support, and it's going to be exciting to see the strides that they take in that arena as well. But I think that's one that was going to be an awesome one to watch, and definitely on my radar. Do you have any others that are up and coming that you've been watching?
Another one that I've been watching is, I talked about it last episode, 1989 Sisters. Mm-hmm. I still have not jumped in and done it yet, but they're doing really well. At the time of this recording, they've minted 722 out of 1,989. Okay. And they also just got verified on OpenSea. So
all right,
that's pretty cool.
Very good. And do you think that there's anything that's impacted that particular mint size or where they're at with progress, in your opinion?
So one thing that I really think, because I've been watching them for a while, they started on Monday, and they are doing their mint a little different, which is kind of one of the reasons I was a little hesitant, because it wasn't your traditional mint. They opened up a separate OpenSea, and they did, you could buy 1 piece, 5 pieces, 10 pieces, or 20 pieces.
Interesting.
And you would go to their OpenSea, and you would make a bid on that project, and then they would send them to you.
Okay.
So I was just a little hesitant of that process because I thought it was unusual. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really they were saying from the get-go that you could mint 1, 5, 10, or 20, but they didn't really go into details on their process. So just with it being different than what I'm used to, I was a little hesitant on that. But then one thing that I really think helped them is I went on OpenSea the other day, and I did not know this, but they were actually on the homepage. Okay, and I went and checked out their collection after I had seen that they were on the homepage. And I mean, they were just making cells left and right. And they had jumped from 200 cells to 400 cells. And it's just been progressively going since then. So I think that has kind of helped boost it up a little bit, because it was a community that I enjoyed being a part of, and that was very active. But it just wasn't a very big community at the time. So I think that really helped out, and I'm excited to see that for him. So
that can be a challenge to get that recognition and for people to find out about a particular project, especially with so many that are happening. I noticed today that there's like 80 projects minting today. I mean, it's just insane the amount of new ones that are coming online. So it's, as we all know, it is a challenge and a struggle to keep up with what's happening. Another one that I've been watching is Alpha Girls Club. It's one that it is not women-led in the sense that the full team is women, but it's definitely women-focused. And their mission has a lot to do with mental health and providing support for different communities, but also just the messaging in general. But I think the art is really unique and really beautiful. So it's always nice, regardless of whether the creators or the community behind the team behind it are all women. That isn't super relevant to me. In fact, I think it's really awesome when that focus is still put into a project without it necessarily have to being all women. But the artist himself and the lead of the team, he has a young daughter, and so that's part of his mission is to create a community for her and to help her educate young women. So I think that's great, but the art is really cool. And they've been doing a different approach. It's the first project Discord that I've been involved with that like Brava, want people to be actively engaged that are excited about the project. So they've gone about a process that instead of making their Discord open to the public, you actually have to obtain an invite to join the Discord. And so you have to reach out to someone that is involved with the project or already in the Discord, and they can have opportunities to send you an invite. So that was an interesting way of gaining that organic growth. So they're looking for, I guess, quality over quantity.
That's awesome, though, especially with the meeting or with his mission. It's nice to see that it, like I said, or like we said earlier, it just shows that they're very into it. And instead of they want the mission to succeed, not just the project.
Yes. I think having those projects set themselves apart from the ones that could be reconsidered as a rug pull or a cash grab, these are definitely projects that are making strides to not fall into those categories.
Yes.
And so their mint is also scheduled for next week. So I'm going to be watching that closely and excited. They're doing a lot of promotions right now coming up to the mint to help people get listed for the pre-sale and to be able to move forward to be included on that list. So lots of stuff happening on Twitter, and they have been doing some invites on Discord. So if you're interested, you know someone that's following that project, be watching because I bet they'll be sharing some invites for that particular Discord. Another one that has been making strides that I'm a part of is the Feel Goods. This is a collection with 3 acclaimed artists that came together. They made different elements of this generated art collection. There's actually 8,888 of them, but really unique, kind of almost street-focused art. One is a graffiti artist, one is mixed media, and the other artist also does a lot of mixed media, but one of the utilities of this particular project is by holding a piece, you actually are included in the pre-sale for any other drops that they do. And they actually have announced that they have 2 upcoming drops. And so I'm going to be excited to see those come around, and I'm going to be involved in those. So you can still mint to Feel Good. The mint price is 0.088, and you can also purchase from OpenSea. And so either opportunity to get into that project. And again, it is by holding one, you have the opportunity to be in on the pre-sales for any future. And so their whole goal is to bring notable artists into the space. So people that have a strong following or a lot of success in real life, helping them segue into the NFT space. So lots of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, that was one thing I have a Feel Good too, and I am excited for their new drops. But that was one thing that I thought was really cool about their collection is that they are real life artists. Well, everybody's real life artists,
right.
But
yes.
They are giving away some of their real life art to, or their physical art. I shouldn't say real life, their physical art to some of their collection holders. And I thought that was a cool tie-in to both aspects. So like the metaverse and the universe and things like that. I thought it was pretty cool, like how they're tying them all together.
They're one of the projects that I've been involved with that seem to really do have still a strong focus on obtaining that physical work. So even as you own a Feel Good, you have the option to download a high resolution file to be able to print and frame and really have a professional copy, a quality copy of that particular NFT that you can display. But also in their roadmap, they have giveaways for their holders of tangible art. Most of it seems to it's either signed pieces or sculptures that value $250,000.
That's amazing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of art. So lots of advantages there. So, but another project that there's definitely lots of projects on the horizon that we're excited for. One that's personal to me that we've been working really hard on is MetaJungle.
I've seen that more and more people are showing up in your Discord too.
That is true. That is true. We, again, are a space that we're encouraging, whether you're an artist, whether you're a creator, whether you're a collector, we want to be a space where everybody can come in and feel comfortable and happy to learn from each other, to be able to share, to be able to contribute to this community, and know that this is a non-shilling zone in the aspect of we want to learn about each other, but there's no paid involvement. You don't have to pay to participate. You're also the opinions are all those of the people participating, so they're authentic. They're not motivated by promotions or sponsorships or anything of the like. So it creates a community that really our whole goal is to make sure that everybody is successful together.
It was really cool because today alone, I was actually in there earlier interacting a little bit. And today alone, I've got to interact with some digital artists, some one-on-one that are focused more directly on one-on-one, like with their photography art side of things. I've got to interact with a new creator trying to get their collection out there. And then I've just got to interact with some other collectors. So it was really cool just to see all different aspects and like what everybody is doing throughout the day that's different depending on where you are and what everybody can learn from one another. It's been really cool. I spent a little bit of time in there today, and it was just really cool how many people I got to interact with that I probably wouldn't have got the chance to if I wasn't in that Discord.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. And mentioning MetaJungle, today we have a special guest joining us. This person is one of my business partners and also a founding member of MetaJungle. So we're really happy to welcome him to the podcast today. Alphatrilogy, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
And I think it would make sense to start off with just asking, in your viewpoint, what is MetaJungle?
So MetaJungle, the project that we have lots and lots of people working on right now, is a liquidity platform that is going to bring lots of liquidity into the NFT marketplace. And so what we are building is an actual platform. So the software and systems to facilitate inflow of capital into the marketplace. And we're really excited about it because that lack of liquidity at various times is one of the things that seems to be one of the biggest needs in the NFT space right now. And we have some real innovative ways that we're going to do this. And we feel like we're going to be able to infuse massive amounts of capital at the right time and in ways that'll help, quality projects and quality NFT projects really be able to weather the roller coaster of the marketplace better.
Very good. Very good. Now, that sounds a little bit different than what we've been talking about. So how does that connect in relation to where we are currently?
So the NFT, the platform we're building is obviously where we see huge opportunity in the NFT space, and something that obviously will be a business, and hopefully a business that we are able to monetize and make money from. In the meantime, my path into the NFT world is very similar to yours and obviously coincides with that path. We came in looking at various ways to be able to do things in the space, primarily from more of a research standpoint. I came in looking at various ways to use NFTs as ticketing, because in real world, one of the businesses that I am a partner in and own, as we sell hundreds of thousands of tickets to various venues and attractions. And I was looking at NFTs as a option for that, which we definitely see as being a use for NFTs in the future. But we're a little early for that. Most of the vendors that we work with still are not in the space, don't understand the space. But we definitely see that being something that we'll be doing 2, 3, maybe 5 years from now. Also, I'm a very avid collector, and so I have all kinds of interests that I collect, and I have for a long time. And so I was very interested in looking at physical collectibles, things in the physical world, and how those can be basically titled or licensed via some type of an NFT project. That's what kind of brought me in. It was my initial interest. During my journey, I became a huge advocate for digital artists, and I understand, I think, what's going on in that art space as far as NFTs, and just became a passion of mine. So I have started collecting them. I enjoy it a lot, and probably more so than just, buying, collecting. A lot of people are in it trying to make quick dollars. Not really my focus or interest at all. I'm really just enjoying finding collectors, finding artists, and really kind of connecting with them. Art that I appreciate, I like, and then buying it, putting it into.
How do you find those artists?
It's kind of been difficult, actually. You can't just really look through OpenSea and find these great artists. It's all kind of word of mouth through somebody in Discord saying something somewhere. I'm not really any kind of an expert on Twitter, but I started using Twitter specifically for this purpose of basically, finding artists, sharing art. And that's been a fairly effective medium, but it's still it's a little bit tricky because there's so many bad actors out there that it makes it difficult really to effectively do anything, and to really, it kind of limits the amount of trust you can have. And so getting back to MetaJungle and the Discord server that you just launched, and I guess we launched, but it's really been your project. I think one of the big motivations and one of the reasons that I've been really positive about it and excited about it is there's this need to get rid of the bad actors. We've got to remove them from the space. And what I see is there are literally hundreds, maybe thousands of projects being ran by teams of people that have bad intentions. And so they literally are just money grabs, and they're trying to get people's money however they can do it. And that reflects so poorly on the good projects and the good teams. And so going and trying to find those good teams and being able to separate them out from the bad ones, it's a lot of work.
It is, and it seems like, too, when they have these big teams that come out, they may have the influence or the funds behind them to really be able to monopolize the common viewer on Twitter and the few spaces that you do see the information.
Yeah, it's one of the things that frustrates me so much about Twitter, because I can't believe anything I read as far as, hey, does this person really believe this? Because everyone seems to be, it's all about how many followers you have. But then there's a good chance if you've got a lot of followers, somebody's paying you to paying you for your ideas. So they're telling you what your opinion should be.
Sure.
Well, and not even, you're saying it makes you lose trust, but I could even see where it would make the artists lose a little bit of trust with trying to promote their work.
Yeah, there's a huge trust issue everywhere
Mm-hmm.
because collectors, new collectors, they have to build basically a trust system with the artist. Hey, is this a real artist? Is this authentic? Is this artist actually creating this? Are they going to, after I buy this, are they going to release 20 more of this exact same thing? That's a huge concern on the collector side, but you never know, like, who's shilling something, who's telling you about it. Are they being paid to do that? Is it true? Is it something that's just going to disappear overnight? There's a lot of trust issues in the entire space. And I think for me, the MetaJungle, obviously we set up this Discord. There's no profit incentive for us. We're spending money to promote it and to build out tools and resources. We have no intention of trying to monetize it in any way to get any of that back. We're giving away NFTs. I give away NFTs all the time anyway. It's kind of fun. It's really fun when people appreciate it and love it, and not so much fun when they don't. But it's fun to give away stuff. I enjoy it, especially if it's to someone that actually appreciates it. It's really fun to buy art from people that appreciate it. You know, they work hard. They're creating something. Some of this art's just absolutely amazing, and then it's really enjoyable to be able to do that. I wish I could buy it all. Unfortunately, I can't. But hopefully I can help find other people that also enjoy it and that can actually, you know, get that enjoyment from doing it, bring them together, try and like create a platform where the artist and collectors, creators can all meet and find each other and talk about things and be able to maybe get better at what they're doing and improve. One of the things I've found is a lot of the artists, they're incredible artists. They don't understand marketing. They don't understand marketing themselves. And so they miss some resources that are available to them, absolutely free resources, where they just, you know, they put their name and they talk about themselves. And sometimes they don't want to because maybe they haven't won a bunch of awards and whatever it is, but there's still just that story of who they are. What's their background? That's what helps them connect with people. That's what's going to bring a collector in and say, hey, this is a cool story. This is a cool person. I love what they're doing. I love their art. I want to be part of that. And so there's things that the artists can do, really simple things, but they just don't know it. They don't know to do it. And so hopefully by doing this MetaJungle Discord project and putting a little bit of time and a little bit of money and resources into that, we can help make the space better and maybe help some of these artists like really improve their lives and be able to get their exposure that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Very true.
It's pretty exciting.
And it's awfully ambitious of the young creators that are coming in that might feel challenged, that maybe by their language skills or their writing skills or their ability to really show who they are. So it's pretty ambitious that they're willing to overcome that.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing, I mean, obviously our name is MetaJungle, and I've had, 50 people tell me you should change the name because Mark Zuckerberg's taking Meta and like everything's changed and there's like some kind of opposition to that and people, but it's a little disappointing. And I can say that, whenever the Meta announcement was made, it was, I had a couple dark hours where I was not that happy because we spent a lot of time creating this name. We had been working on the creative side. We've had all this stuff done and this work done and put into it. And then somebody like a company that's absolutely huge comes out and says, oh, yeah, by the way, we're changing our name to Meta, which is we're taking that name now. We're in charge of the metaverse and that's ours. And we're hiring 10,000 people to build out the software and these platforms. It's like, wow, we have a pretty decent sized team working on things, but it sure as hell isn't 10,000 people. How do you compete with that? And so that was a little frustrating, completely, I guess, a little off topic. But anyway, I'm excited about MetaJungle. I'm excited about the Discord server that we just launched. Hopefully people can see it for what it is. Literally, we want it to be a safe, secure, like open place where you can come in, share your knowledge, share what you already know. We know there's going to be so many people onboarded into the entire NFT space, and having a place where they can learn about NFTs, learn about the pluses and the positives, and also the dark side and the things that they need to be aware of to potentially expose some of these scam influencer, scam projects, money grab, rug pull stuff that's going on, and help people, keep their money safe. It makes me sick to think about a project that goes out, launches, they make all these promises. They have no intention, none, of actually ever of doing any of it. And then they sell out, they make a few $1 million, they stick it in their pockets, and they walk away. And so you can say, well, everyone should have done their own research. People should have known better, whatever. It irritates me to no end, because that several $1 million that they wasted, that people spent on that put in those guys' pockets so they can go to Vegas and party for the weekend, that money could have went to people that are sincere, that have real projects, that are working hard. Maybe they don't have the money to buy the influencers to sell out their projects, but they have a real purpose and a mission. And to individual artists that are out there working so hard, creating their art, trying to market themselves, and they're really getting scammed by the people that are stealing everybody's money and pulling it out of the marketplace.
It is a huge problem right now, for sure.
Yeah, and then it irritates me that there's platforms, huge marketplace platforms, and they allow this stuff to go on. It could be stopped easily, and they don't do it.
It seems like every week there's another story about something that they didn't stop or they allowed, and it really does have a huge impact on so many people.
So when you said, hey, let's put a server in place, let's do this. This is kind of the altruistic side of what we can do. I'm 100% behind you and with you on this. And, my focus in this side of it is really more on the artist, the individual artist, those one-on-one guys. Let's help them. Let's see what we can do to help them out.
Absolutely. It's really encouraging that there are people in the space that are putting their hard work into it. They have great missions that they're passionate about. And so getting to connect with those people and, having an entrepreneurial background and building projects myself and as a team, it's really inspiring to get to see people that are trying really hard. And so getting to kind of pay back and help them along the way if there's assistance that can be needed, or help spread the word about those, and let people that are excited about coming into the space as collectors, helping them connect and actually making those, making the connections and making all that come together. It's really, really exciting. So I love that aspect of it.
Or even just helping them grow. Like, I am not an entrepreneur or anything like that, but I interacted with one today that posted his reason why he got into NFTs. Like, he's new to it, and he'd been doing artwork for, I think he said, a decade, and he just started sharing it 6 months ago because of NFTs. But then after he shared his story, which was a really good story, it was really cool, he apologized for sharing it. He's like, sorry, that was really long. And I'm like, no need to apologize for your story. Like, it was a great read. I read it all. I applaud you for sharing it with us, and your artwork's really great. And it was really great artwork. So it was just, I like that you guys have helped create a community to just help grow and help each other gain confidence. Like, I'm new and I'm gaining confidence, and with the confidence I've gained, I've been able to help other people gain confidence. And it's just a really rewarding aspect, I guess.
Well, and that's awesome. And it's a good point that oftentimes, when you're going into a Discord channel, or a server, it's specifically for that project. And so people are hesitant talking about another project that they're excited about, or even maybe about artwork of their own. And so then you also end up in a dozen or 20 or find out that there's a max limit of 100 different servers that you can join. But being a place where everybody can come together and we can learn about different projects and share what's successful for some people, and, even talk about the different projects without having the Discord team involved with it, or having, the conversation swayed, or having influential people that are getting benefits from it, from communicating with each other or controlling it, it really does make a huge difference. So I love that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, and I hope that there's plenty of influential people that are genuine, that are actually, looking for artists to support and things to buy, and they're actually part of the space. They're not just being paid to say things.
Yes.
I hope those people show up and are regulars in the server, because it's for them too. Because we have this group of people and this environment where people are sharing their stories, sharing their creations, and it's real.
Yep.
And so if you are influential and you're real, please come. If you're a bad actor, don't bother. We will find you and get rid of you.
Yep.
That's my mission.
Okay, Liam
And I'm
Nelson.
telling you straight out, if you're a bad person and a bad actor in the space, I will find you.
I feel like we just jumped into Taken 4 over there.
I think that might be a dream of Alpha's there. How did you know? Well, and Alpha, you've mentioned several times about being a collector. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit more about the type of collecting you enjoy doing, or something that you're passionate about?
I've been buying a lot of photographs, and I love photography, and it's interesting because art's subjective, and so it's really, the beauty is in the eye of the creator and whoever appreciates that. And so there's art that I can appreciate the art. That's just, maybe it's not for me. And even in photography, there's art that there's photographs that I can say, wow, that's a really stunning, interesting piece, but it's not necessarily for me. And so it's always important to remember that. And I try to remind artists of that all the time. Just because I don't buy something, it doesn't have anything to do with whether it's good art or not. I don't know if a piece of art's good or not. I know if it speaks to me, and that's basically it. A lot of times when I buy art, though, I really want to know about the artist. I want to know that backstory. I want to know about them. If they've won awards and they're recognized, that's great. And that's fantastic. I want to know about them. I want to know their story. And so just because you haven't won an award has nothing to do with whether you're a great artist or not. And so anyway, I've been buying a lot of photographs from artists from around the world. And I've interacted with some of these people, and some of them I would consider to be friends, and it's pretty interesting. I just like how some of it really speaks to me. All different subject matters, a lot of portraits, but.
And what is there something in particular that makes it speak to you? Something that you connect with?
Yeah, to me, it's all about emotion.
Okay.
And so, if I look at a piece and that piece evokes some type of emotion, that means something. And so, I like happy emotion, but sometimes a sad emotion is just, it speaks just as loudly. And so you just look at it, and if it evokes emotion and I see it, and, there's a story there, maybe the artist has told the story and maybe the artist hasn't, but my mind can tell the story, then that's kind of what I look for and what I like.
Well, and as a collector, are there things in particular that you're looking for in the description and in the information provided by the artist?
Yes. So I prefer if the artist has taken the time and they've used the description areas on their NFTs to put their name. It's really important to collectors. A brief bio about themselves. That also is important. If they have won awards and that's, part of them, then that's really important for them to put there. Not so much for me, but there are a lot of collectors that are more collectors investors. And so that information is incredibly important to them. And edition size. So, if you're buying something and you think it's a one of one, you want to make sure it's a one of one. And so a lot of times when the artists are maybe talking about their stuff and they're on Twitter or somewhere else, they'll say, yeah, this is a one of one, but you go in and you look at the collection, it doesn't say anywhere what the edition sizes are.
Do you mind if I ask what is a one of one for those that may not know?
Yeah, so one of one just means that that's the only one of that image that's going to be sold. So if it's a photograph and you've taken that photograph, one of one means that that's it. You're not selling that to someone else. And so there's, like recently I buy Pangaens NFT boxes, and there's a lot of times there's photographs in there, but there'll be 500 of them. So it'll be a really awesome photograph, but it's done 500 times. And
so you're basically getting a copy of that photo.
Yeah, you're getting a one of 500 edition.
So like there's an original and then a print version.
Yeah. So there's definitely nothing wrong with editions, like where there's multiple pieces. I prefer one of one stuff. And so I prefer to have something where it's the only one. And
and I would assume there's a bit of a different value associated with it too. If there's a print, just like in the traditional art world, if there's an original and there's prints, of course the prints are a lesser value than the original. And if there's a standalone piece, it's more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in the real life art world, normally you don't see editions of something until the one of ones becomes so expensive that the normal collector is priced out of their reach. So you get a piece of art and, an artist creates something and it's so expensive. I mean, it's worth so much that the average collector can't afford to buy that. Well, then you start releasing editions. If you're not in that situation, then a lot of times it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to release editions of something. And so one thing I do see that I think is probably not the best idea, I see some artists that, they don't have a huge collector base yet. So they haven't built that up. So their art hasn't been valued in the marketplace yet with a high value. And they're releasing these editions of, lots and lots of pieces. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense from like a traditional collecting world.
And so what should they be doing? What would make more sense?
So if I was a one of one artist, so an artist that's creating unique pieces, I would create a collection, limit the number of pieces in that collection. So maybe 20 or 30 pieces tops.
Mm-hmm.
And what I literally would do is I'd write the story of that collection and what that collection was about. I would say, this collection is going to have 20 pieces or have 30 pieces, whatever that piece number is. I would tell everyone up front what that's going to be. And then when I would drop maybe 3 to 5 of the pieces of the 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I would price them at an entry point to where people can afford it. And so you've got to find an attractive entry point for that art. Then when those pieces sold, I found collectors and buyers for those pieces, I would drop my next 3 to 5 pieces. And then those 3 to 5 pieces, I would price higher. And so I would slowly work my price up. and not get crazy with it, because you don't want to price your existing collectors out. You want them to be able to buy it. But then the idea is to get a collection sold out. And if you're an artist and you can get a collection sold out, that's a huge plus for you, especially if you've done it with collectors that appreciate your work, because those people aren't going to dump your artwork and, destroy the floor price for your art. And what happens then, if you can sell that out, the price of your art is going to, just by nature, it's going to be higher, because if a collector has bought your art, they appreciate it, they like it. If they put it up for sale, they're going to sell it at a higher price, which is really good for you, because it establishes a higher value for your artwork. A lot of artists don't necessarily understand that. They don't have somebody helping them make marketing decisions and explaining that.
And it seems like there's some elements of supply and demand that factor into that as well.
Absolutely. It's all about supply and demand and in the art world. And so I am very much a Keynesian economist. Keynesian economist. But I believe in supply and demand. And in the real world, it's interesting. In the art world, you'll see most artists, their art becomes valuable after they die. And it's kind of a crazy thing, but it's reality. And the reason for that is that's the only time you know what the supply actually is, because all of a sudden the supply is done and okay, this is over. And so as demand increases, there's no more supply. And so price obviously has to go up. Well, when an artist is alive and they're creating work, that supply number is, no one knows. It's an unknown number. And so it automatically suppresses price. And now there's always exceptions, and you'll see people, we've seen it recently with some, insane priced art being sold. I'd say insane. I'm sure it's worth every penny of it. But, some pieces that are selling for tens of millions of dollars by living young artists, which is, it's amazing. It's incredible for the art world. But that's a very rare thing. It's not like it's an anomaly. It's not the norm. And so on the collector level, people that are collecting, investing, they're very conscious of supply. And so an artist has to be very conscious of that. So it's not a good idea to just churn out as many things as you can and just keep putting them on OpenSea. It's one of the things I see. It's kind of a problem that some artists that are new to that space do. They'll create a collection, and it might have the bases. It could have been great because it's, a limited number. It's only 20 or 30 pieces, but they sell one piece or two pieces. And so they start another collection and they put 20 or 30 more pieces out there. And then somebody might buy one of those pieces and they put 20 or 30 more pieces. And so they destroy their own market. And so if I go in and I buy a piece from that collection, it's not going to have any impact. I mean, they're going to sell one more piece, but it's not going to really help them because they have flooded the market themselves. And I hate seeing it. If I could do something to like, hey, don't do that, it's going to hurt. But I can't normally. I try, and I try to give people suggestions, and I try to give them feedback, but I have to do that in a way that, I'm not all knowing. And I also don't want to step on someone's toes. I mean, everyone has their own decisions to make, and they do things their way. But there's definitely a good way to go about it, and a not as good way. And then some artists may not care. I mean, it's, they want to create art. They want people to have the art, and that's great. They might not be worried about price or actually selling it, but that's each artist. That's their own decisions to make. But if they're worried about, the selling their art and creating a market for it among collectors, there's definitely some things that they can do that will make them more effective at that and better at it.
So it sounds like being able to include in the description how many total pieces are going to be available, and making some small adjustments, including some information about the photograph itself and about themselves, or ways in which they could potentially set themselves up to be more attractive to a collector. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so another really important part of it is price. And so I don't like to talk to an artist about the price of their pieces.
No?
No, I mean, it's something that's, you know, the value of art is somewhat subjective too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also controlled by supply and demand. And it's, you know, there's X amount of demand for somebody's product at this point. And if it's a beautiful piece of art, the artist is creating, you know, work that when people see it, they're going to want it, then that demand is going to increase. But demand a lot of time is based off of the amount of exposure that the artist had. And so if you don't have the exposure yet and you haven't been exposed, people don't know about you and about your art, you can overprice yourself and price yourself out of the market really, really easily. And I may still buy a piece, but a lot of people won't. And it's kind of, you know, I don't know. I don't like to talk about it with anyone, because I don't want anyone to think, hey, I'm trying to devalue what your work is, or tell you that, hey, it's not worth it. Because, you know, the amount of time and energy people put into their artwork, I mean, it's all priceless, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, you know, I hate talking about the financial side of it as far as pricing, because I'm not going to tell anyone what their work is actually worth. But I can tell you, I see a lot of artists that they price their artwork outside of what the market's going to pay for it. And sometimes they do it, I think, just not really understanding probably the market.
I could see that would be a challenge to assess what a fair price would be, and how to go about making that judgment call.
Yeah, most definitely. And, you know, based on market economics, I sometimes will overpay. And I have my own reasons for doing it. Mainly it's just because I like buying it. I see a piece of art, I like it. But I may know that I'm paying probably more than what the market is really going to support from a price standpoint. I don't buy it worrying about selling it again later.
I think that's one of those areas too where it seems like the one-of-one world is so much separate than the generative art projects. You know, we hear a lot in this NFT space about paper hands and diamond hands and flipping and all that, but that seems to be separate from all of this. And something that's exciting for the NFT space for artists in general is that opportunity to be able to benefit if their pieces sell in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
So it seems that if you're setting it up to where even if you are selling it at a certain price initially, there is that opportunity that each time it changes hands that you could, you'll be compensated for that as well.
From the artist standpoint.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely. So, an artist getting their work out there, there's a extreme amount of value in that, because that's how you're going to get exposure. That's how you're going to have people that may decide, hey, I'm going to just keep buying this. It's kind of interesting. If you can create art that appeals to younger people, and that younger people will buy, then they're going to buy that through the rest of their life cycle, a lot of times. And so there's definitely some strategies that you can do as an artist that helps you be able to get your product out there. And then, you know, if people sell it, if you've created a value behind it and you haven't flooded the market and people sell it, well, the price of that will go up. And in the NFT world, it's an amazing thing that you're going to get, you know, a piece of that sale every time. And so I think that's a game changer for an artist. I mean, I wish I had artistic ability. I would definitely get in there and take advantage of that. Unfortunately, I don't. Although I saw Gary V. He released 10,000 pieces or something, and I would be able to scribble out some animals. I don't know. Nothing against that. I wish I'd have bought Gary V's pieces. I didn't buy when he released because I thought, I really don't like the art, but I wish I like the person. I mean, this guy's brilliant. I like that person. I just don't like the art. That was probably a bad decision in that point because obviously it's done extremely well.
Very true. Very true. That is one that was, it was a little out of the norm for sure.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to him.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm talking about what you talked about earlier. I assumed you probably would have because isn't his artwork tickets to an event in a way?
There's a lot of utility. Yep, for it. He does have a conference coming up in May, so there are particular ones that do serve for access to be able to attend the convention coming up. I believe there's also others that have utility that may be a phone call with him, so time spent with him. So a lot of different ways in which people can gain value from interacting with the community for sure. He's done a fantastic job of creating a community and really giving back to them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and you mentioned the prank ski box. That might be something a little bit different that a lot of people might have heard of but don't participate. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about your experience with that? And maybe who prank ski is?
Yeah, I don't know who he or she is. I do not know. Don't know them. I have admired them from afar, just some of the prowess that they have had at being able to find some really interesting artists and some great art. And so I think definitely whoever Pringsky is, they have a good eye for art. And so they have a boxes that they do every month. And at some point during the month, they make an announcement, and they have recently it's been 500. So there'll be 500 boxes that they sell. You buy this box, pricing's been around 0.65 ETH. You buy the box, it gets delivered into your wallet immediately. You don't know what's in the box. At some point at the end of the month, they will basically open the box and they drop all the NFTs that are in that box into your wallet. And I think it's usually, somewhere between 9 and 11 NFTs, usually by some really interesting artists. And so mainly editions. So you're getting editions by those artists, but it's some great stuff. Some stuff that has been released that's had a tremendous amount of secondary market value. And so I buy it again because I'm curious always. And I love kind of the surprise of what you're going to get. I have not sold any pieces out of a Pringsky box. Just hold them. And even, obviously art's subjective. So you get some pieces that you may not particularly like, and it may not appeal to you that much, but I just hold it. And I'm kind of running as an experiment. I'm going to see over a period of time, hopefully years, what happens with that specific curated by Pringsky work does.
Very cool. It sounds like a good experiment for sure. For some of the people that might be new to it, is there any advice you might give as far as, it seems like there's boxes, I've seen things where people have purchased boxes that may not have contents in them, like on the secondary market, anything to be mindful of?
Yeah, you got to be careful. The sorting features within the secondary market for Pringsky's box work is difficult. It's kind of hard to find your way through it. If you buy a box from a previous month, that box is empty. So the box is still there, so you could buy an empty box. So I do buy boxes on the secondary sometimes, but I don't buy old empty boxes. So if a price on something's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. You got to remember that. So I see all the time people going into his Discord and saying, hey, I bought this and it was 0.03 ETH. Where's all my artwork? It's like, well, you bought an empty box for 0.03 ETH. And then they're like, well, why is there empty boxes? Well, the boxes are designed by somebody and there's some type of art value that could be attributed to that. And there's definitely some cultural significance to it. So from a long-term collector standpoint, there could be some value to that box. But yeah, I would say don't go buying empty boxes. The best thing to do is just go to Pangaens' Discord. I'm pretty sure I posted a invite to his Discord in the MetaJungle invite channel. Go there, learn about what those boxes are, see if it's something that's for you. And if it is, buy them whenever they'll post a mint link to their site. Go and just mint the box. And then at the end of the month, you're going to get a big surprise on what's in there.
Sounds like the best possible way of not getting an empty box, huh?
Yeah, so you won't have to worry about getting an empty box that way. And on the secondary, they will, a lot of times, after they've minted out, they'll post a link to actually secondary boxes on OpenSea. So if you go from, their links and you follow them in, then you can do it. But if you go to OpenSea and try and do it on your own, and you find a box and it's 0.03 or 0.05 or 0.1 ETH, don't buy it. Unless you want an empty box, then you can buy it.
For that significance, for cultural significance, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I think that does tie in really good for another example of what people can experience when they come to MetaJungle Discord. And what we encourage you to do is, if you are interested about a project similar to Pangaens boxes and something that might be a little out of the norm, just ask. Come in and see. Just ask if anybody has had experience with it, if they've been, if they know about it. And I'm confident that if somebody hasn't, we'll find some answers. We'll find somebody that will speak up and be able to connect with you and help you along the way. So, and also if you are in the Discord and you have that experience, we encourage you to share that with everyone else as well. So we're all learning together and figuring it out together.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also say, if you're an artist, come to MetaJungle. We have a one photographer channel for you to post your links to your artwork, links to your collections.
It's so cool to get to see all the different artwork and also learn more about the artist. That's a highlight for sure.
Yeah, come post your work in there. Mm-hmm. It's really cool because we see it. We can ask you questions. We can interact. And you asked earlier, how do I find artists? Well, now that's how I find them. Mm-hmm. I go to MetaJungle. I go to the one-of-one channels, and I look through there and I see what people are posting. I'll interact. I'll comment, and I buy. And that's what we're really hoping everyone does. And so if you're a collector and you're interested in one-of-one art, come to MetaJungle, look through those channels and interact with the artist, look at that art and then support them and buy it. Like it's really cool.
Absolutely. And also if you have a project that you're excited about, there's a channel for that. Really, we want to facilitate every level. If you're developing, if you're purchasing, like there's resources for everybody here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the one thing you won't have is you won't have somebody shilling. Definitely nobody affiliated with MetaJungle is going to be shilling some kind of project to you or trying to force you or encourage you to buy some kind of project that has a whole bunch of fake promises in it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not against Gen Art, by the way. So I definitely buy Gen Art too. And I probably have way too much of it than I should have. But I definitely I support Gen Art projects. I have unfortunately fallen prey to some of the bad actors, and I've bought some of the same rug pull projects that everyone else has. I'm not as naive at this point, and so that doesn't happen quite as often. And I'm very careful about what gen art projects that I invest in. But there are some great gen art projects out there, and there's some projects that I fully support. I buy rarities, I buy the floor, and I will continue doing so. World of Women, I love the project. Whenever I have an opportunity to pick up a World of Woman piece at a good price, either based off of rarity or based off of what the floor price is, I definitely jump on that opportunity. I think it's something that's going to stand the test of time, and I like the project. There's a lot of projects like that. I mean, you guys talk about them all the time on this series, and there are things that I also support, and I buy and spend my money to help support those.
I think you also offered some pretty cool giveaways with them too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do like to buy some of those projects. Not so much World of Women. I haven't been able to part with one of those, but I definitely buy projects, and I give them away. And then it's kind of interesting because you've got these projects that I call failed projects because they're rug pulls. They're failed just because the dev teams have failed. Some of those projects have some pretty good art, and they have some interesting things going for them. I would say there's nothing wrong with having that, keeping it. If it's super cheap, you can buy it. Somebody gives it to you, hold it, because some of those things may come around and have value again in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just at the beginning, so possibilities are endless for the future.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, utility is a huge thing in the NFT world. And so on the big projects, everybody's trying to come up with that incredible utility. What's going to be better than what anyone else has, and what creates the most amount of value? What's the biggest driver? And I don't see that changing any. Now, it seems like it could get stale pretty fast. And so, a project has to be able to find the right balance between the utility and the purpose of what they're doing, their artwork. But on that utility side, there's a whole lot that can be accomplished. And you start thinking about it as the entire world is going to onboard into this space. I could really see, I could see a future where some of those failed projects are picked up by other companies and people, and maybe utilities added into those projects to bring them back to life and give them a purpose, especially something that's got some good art and something else behind it. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the things that we will be including in the liquidity platform that we are creating is there will be a way to buy and sell projects. And so we will create a marketplace for projects. And I'm sure there's probably other people working on that idea, but it's something that it's necessary. Kind of sickens me to think about having to buy a failed project from a complete failed team that has taken your money and ran away. But I think that there are people that would buy those and really try to resurrect them and do something with them. And I think it's going to become something that's happening a lot in the future. So don't burn your NFTs that you're upset about or that you got a rug pull on, because I think that some of those will come back and have value later. Mm-hmm. But don't buy them if you think they're going to rug pull.
Yeah. Yeah. Do your research ahead of time. Ask questions and definitely learn about the team and really think about it. You mentioned earlier, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And I think that we forget that. FOMO can be really powerful. So I think there's times where we overlook that. And I think it's good to talk about those opportunities where we might have gotten, let that get the better of us. And so we can keep that in mind and learn for the future and let other people learn from things that we've picked up along the way as well, instead of having to learn it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Alpha, is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Whoa, that is a open-ended question.
I know.
That's a very dangerous open-ended question.
I know.
No, there's some channels in MetaJungle, the show off channels. And I don't know that I like the terminology show off, but it's kind of, you have to put something there people kind of understand. I encourage people to go in there, use those channels too if you're a collector, and just show what you're buying, the stuff you've bought. I use them so you can see what I'm buying. I tweet about it too. I tweet my buys, and I don't sell a lot, but I do. If I sell something, I usually tweet about it. But yeah, use those channels and start, like, this is how you promote. This is how you support an artist. You buy their stuff and then you tell people, because what the artist needs is exposure. And even from an economic standpoint, it makes sense for you as a collector. You know, you buy the art, then tell people about the art, share it, and help that artist. And if you help that artist, ultimately it's going to help you, because hopefully you're going to keep that art for the rest of your life. But maybe some day in the future when it's your kids or somebody else that's going to be getting that art, there's going to be more value to it. And you actually contributed towards that. So, you know, share it, show it.
Tell people what you like about the project.
Yeah, tell people what you like. Give the artist feedback.
Yep.
I've been amazed at how receptive to feedback artists in general are. Now, once in a while, I'll run into one that definitely doesn't want to hear any feedback, and that's absolutely fine. But for the most part, these artists they love that interaction, and they want to hear what you're thinking and what you think about it. And you know, they're creating something, and it means something to them that somebody else loves it and somebody else wants to have it. Then if you can create ways to display it, show it.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, the metaverse is here, and it's really going to be here in the very near future. The metaverse is going to be a fundamental part of everyone's life. And you can do things in the metaverse that you can't do in real life. So very few people can afford to actually have their own museum. You can, though, in the metaverse. Like, I bought a NFT, it's an NFT that actually gives you the ability to display, I think it's 100 and some pieces in a gallery in the metaverse. And it's amazing. You just buy this NFT. And I think the same company that does that, they have actually free ones. So if you have, 20 pieces or 15 pieces or whatever, you can create your own space. And you say, why would I want to do that? Like, what's the point? Or that's egotistical or whatever. No, absolutely not. So you put your art in that space, and it looks and it feels completely different than it does when it's sitting in your wallet.
It might be a really cool way for an artist that has a collection to display it as well, to use that as a way to just display their artwork and let people, to be able to peruse a gallery and pick out pieces.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the artists that'll come into MetaJungle, and instead of putting a link into their OpenSea collection, they put a link to their gallery where you can walk through their gallery in the metaverse and pick the pieces you like. I mean, that's just so cool.
It's really, really cool.
And I can tell you, when you go into one of these, 3D galleries, the art looks different. It has a different feel. And you have some control for that too. How you place it in there, where you put it, how you size it. Yeah, you can actually size your art in this world. In the real world, you're pretty much whatever size it is what you've got. In the metaverse, you control it. And so you actually can set up the experience and the ambiance that somebody has. And so one of the things that I guess something I can tell you about, I've decided recently, one of my goals is I want to build a collection and put it into a space in the metaverse that can be a destination. So It's someplace where you can actually go and hopefully find inspiration. And it's a real goal. I mean, I guess it's a hobby I'm going to take up and I'm going to work hard on it. I'm looking right now to find I don't want to pull people off of, what our big liquidity project to help program it. So I'm looking for outside people, somebody that has the ability to come in and help me do this. But I want to build a fully scalable, really architecturally significant, iconic destination to be able to display art. And I think it'd be amazing, and I think it'd be cool, and I think it's a really rare opportunity that a person has to be able to make a difference in people's lives, and to maybe create a destination that's an inspiration for other people.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so we'll see where all of it takes a lot of time, and so
Sure.
we'll see where it leads and where it ends up. But it's a goal I've set, and it's a hobby I'm taking up, and we'll see if it's successful or not. There's going to be so much going to happen in this whole new metaverse world with NFTs. And NFTs, we've just seen we've just scratched the surface of what's going to be possible with them. I honestly believe, the blockchain, everything's going to be done via the blockchain and this new technology, obviously. Web 3, I guess, or maybe it'll be Web 4 or Web 5. I don't know what's coming exactly, but I know that we're just scratched the surface of it. But it's so exciting. It's so cool. It's so neat to be a part of it. And I give kudos to every artist that has braved their way into this world, and every collector that braved their way into it, and every person that's actually there trying to figure it out, and having fun, hopefully. And if we can just get rid of the bad actors, it's going to be a really neat world to live in.
Keep that power in the community, huh?
Yep.
Look out for each other.
Empower the community.
Yep.
We got to take that power away from those bad actors.
Absolutely.
But I think collectively we can do it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and also a unique thing about MetaJungle that I haven't seen anywhere else, but I think is a great resource, is we do have a channel. So if you are looking to work in this space, if you have special skills and you're wanting to work in this space, there's a channel where you can post your resume, your information, what your skill set is and what you're looking for in the way of a job. And also, if you're needing someone with special skills, there's also a channel where you can come and basically post a job posting. So something that you're looking for, because we want to help people at every level be successful. And there's definitely lots of special skills needed in this space. So please utilize those as well. I think you might have a listing already, Alpha, huh?
I do. I listed for looking for someone to build my MetaVerse Gallery. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think that was a brilliant idea, Emma, that there's so many people that are looking for either a way to get into the space that have, skills that would be complementary to some of the projects. There's so many projects that are looking for people. And so, yeah, it's a smart thing. I mean, to add that and just let people be able to find that.
We just want you to come and interact and help and support, and grow together. It's really empowering the community to be successful. That's what it's all about. Well, you have anything else today, Alpha?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you having me on the show. I love the show. I love what you guys are doing. And obviously, I believe in it 100%. And you guys, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I can't wait to see what the future brings for you guys in that. I know that you're doing it because you love the space and literally, absolutely love the space in this world. And you're hoping to be able to make a positive difference and help people. And I'm excited about it. I'm glad to be able to support it however I can. And if you ever want to have me back, if you want to hear about artists, like specific artists and those types of things, I'd be more than happy to come in and talk about it anytime you want to have me.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate definitely the advice you've given from your perspective as being a one-of-one collector and especially a photography collector. Hopefully some of the artists out there can have, glean some helpful information from that, something that they can keep in mind. And again, not feel so lost or feel like they're alone or feel intimidated when they're creating their OpenSea collection. And we hope that dialogue and that invitation for dialogue rings true with you. So also, if you have friends that are artists that are looking to get started, please invite them to MetaJungle. We want you there. We want you with us, and we want to help. So, and also Alpha, could you? I guess we'll know you from your PFP. Would you tell us a little bit the significance about your PFP that you use?
Well, I use that PFP. It's a secret society of whales. Mm-hmm. I actually like that project a lot. I'm a huge fan of the project and what they're trying to do. I love what their purpose is. And I highly suggest if people aren't already a member of the secret society of whales, so that they go in and pick them up a whale and join that community, because it's pretty incredible. So my PFP is the number one rarity whale, and I don't know, I'm proud of it. I like it. It's kind of I don't know, it kind of fits me, and so started using it, and just haven't wanted to change it. I guess maybe one of these days, but for now it seems to fit.
Well, and I thought it'd just be fun for people to learn that story, since they will see you out and about on Twitter and, of course, in MetaJungle. So, and currently right now, that is our giveaway for MetaJungle. So come and join the Discord server. And if you're already there, please stop by the giveaways, because we are going to be giving one away, and you can join that awesome community as well.
Yeah, so that particular whale that we're giving away, I donated that whale for the purpose. And I like it a lot. So
it is a really cool one.
I know it's interesting because it's Gen Art, obviously, but I like that whale. Mm-hmm. He's got a really cool look, and I collected him for the aesthetic. And so, yeah, I hope whoever wins him likes him, appreciates him, and becomes a part of the community.
Very cool.
Hey, can I tell you one real fast story?
Sure.
We
did ask if you had anything else.
Yeah, you did ask open-ended, although it was a while back. So I recently posted in the artist spotlight, because in MetaJungle there is a artist spotlight channel. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty interesting. I posted about an artist who has a collection. And I think that people probably, most people would know to look for this sort of thing, but it's kind of interesting. He's got a collection. There's, I think, 30 pieces in the collection, and he's down to his last 2 pieces. And those pieces are priced at 0.15 and 0.2 ETH. So you literally can buy both of them for 0.35 ETH. Mm-hmm. Every other piece in the collection has sold. And the floor price for the collection, once those 2 pieces are taken out, is 1 ETH. So that artist is almost at that point that I talked about earlier, mm-hmm. where you get a sold out collection and the value is like a lot higher. He's 2 pieces away. And literally, if you're a person that is, I really like photography, I like this art, I don't know enough about it, I don't know what to buy, and you find something like that, if you like that art, if you look at that, you're like, wow, that's really, really cool, I like that, then it's pretty amazing that you could buy something, and when you buy it, the floor price is, 5 times or 7 times what you just paid for the piece that you bought. So it's the kind of thing that as a new collector that you can kind of start learning and looking for. And I'm sure at some point that you guys will talk about that same thing. You can do that in generative art. Where you can find traits, and there's certain traits that somebody will sell it for some price, and the next one with that type of trait might be priced at 2 or 3 or 5 times higher, and all the rest of them are priced like that. And so, it's generally a great one to buy if you're worried about the value of things. And so I know you're obviously probably going to talk about that at some point, because it's something that's important for people to know. But the same thing holds true in this 1/1 art world, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a good reminder of something to look for too, as you're looking at a collection and deciding if it makes sense. And I think a positive is typically in that aspect, you can probably be a little bit more confident about the stability of the floor price than other projects that might be a generative art project or one that has a team behind it that, there may be more move in the floor.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because a couple of my friends, I told them about this. Like, hey, look, this isn't financial advice, by the way, but hey, look at this. And they're like, well, why don't you buy it? And it's
logical question.
Yeah, it's a really simple logical question. And it's really an easy answer. I mean, I have pieces by this collector in my collection. This artist in my collection. I like his art a lot. So why didn't I buy those 2 pieces? Well, I probably will. But
so you better hurry.
First, I got to give the opportunity to other people. I don't think it's going to be the only art I'm ever going to have the opportunity to buy, so I'm not worried about that. But there's an opportunity there, so I want to share that opportunity. And it's better for the artist if I don't buy it, because the more people that he has buy into his collection, the better for him. And it's an interesting concept. It's difficult, for a lot of times artists don't understand that. And they're like, hey, you can buy all my pieces. And there's artists that I like their art enough almost where I would almost do that. Just like, I'll buy it all. But it's really, really bad for the artist, because the artist needs to have as many collectors as possible. And so one person going in and gobbling it up is not a good thing for that artist. And so ultimately, I really am trying to support artists. I want this artist to succeed. And so I didn't just buy those pieces when I found out, hey, look at this. This is crazy. I'm trying to help him sell it to someone else because it's better for him than if I just buy it.
And also, it sounds like you're helping to encourage some maybe more confident collectors as well.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been great to have a guest with us today, and definitely appreciate you guys joining us for this 3rd episode. And of course, we encourage you to like, share, subscribe to our channel. We are really working on building something authentic here, giving a reason to come back each time. We do plan to have other visitors on the podcast that we can learn from. They may be related to projects. They're also helping us just be educated in different aspects of this journey. So I definitely want to say thank you for coming along with us. And it is a journey. We're growing each time. So also appreciate you sharing with your friends, and also leaving comments, suggestions, because we want to learn from you guys too. So thank you for being here today, Miss Jaden.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you, Gabe.
Oh, I got like, they said bye to me this time. I didn't have to like pipe in.
They didn't. She did.
Yeah, well, whatever, Jaden. Yeah, whatever.
But thank you guys very much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.